A good evening to all as we bring you the continuing coverage of Philippines Football League action. It's on to the second match of the day this Saturday at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. It's between Taguig FC and Mendiola FC 1991. So glad you could join us as you are catching this on the Facebook and YouTube pages of the Philippines Football League. Also on Premier Football, Claro Manzano here to bring you the commentary for this match. And joining us, of course, is Rupert Banya. And first and foremost, Rupert, welcome to the panel. And what do you have to say about this upcoming match?
Thank you, Claro. Really exciting match right here. Taguig has had a more recent game against Cebu, which is a really tight match. And then you have Mendiola, who had a longer preparation, but exciting how they prepared for this game.
That's how this matchup really changes, because when you look at it on paper, right, you could say Taguig are the favored team, but so many factors outside, moving parts. That's why this one is all to play for right here. We can't wait to kick it off, actually. But given that we are in the early stages of the season, we could say, this one is still wide open. What do you have to say about the standings, Rupert?
Claro, we have a long way to go. This is still very open for everyone. Even if Mendiola, looking in the table right now, they might be in the bottom, but few wins, 2-3 wins, and then they're right on top again. So still very open for everyone.
Ang daming curveball dito actually with the two teams as we are eventually going to carry on. At the end of the day, it's about grabbing 3 points and making it to the top 4. Top 2 if you want to play AFC Champions League 2 football. But a lot of changes again because so many players are missing when we look at the two teams or aggregate things as a whole. But it's about finding out who is going to step up for this one, as we will take it to our pitchside reporter, Sydney Crespo.
Taguig has returned to Manila after their brief trip to Cebu. Coach JV acknowledged that many of his players were fatigued after the travel challenges and flight delays. To help them recover, he emphasized the importance of taking well-deserved rest. However, Coach JV faces additional challenges, notably the injury of his team captain, Nano Amita, who sustained an LCL injury in his right knee. He is set to undergo an MRI after the game tonight. But for now, he is still here, showing support to the team. Nano, as always, with a smile, says he trusts that his teammates are mentally prepared and composed to survive this game. Well, we will figure that out later, but for now, back to you guys.
An LCL injury for Nano Amita, that's gotta be big. But just let's go with that long list. No Yannick Tuason, but he is dressed up, right, for this game. So I'd like to think that's a 50-50, 70-30 chance he may possibly enter. 30% lang, okay? And then there is Nano Amita, as Sydney did mention, of course. And then Andres Aldeguer, I heard, is sick. George Baker also is in street clothes. Meron pa, no? Oh, Daisuke Sato.
Daisuke Sato, who is
not
suspended
injured, suspension.
for this game.
Right, and then when we go over with Mendiola, it's Hamed who is suspended actually for getting a red card in that last game of theirs. So big blows for the two teams here, especially with Taguig. With Mendiola though, let's see, of course, we know their leader is not there, but you've had moments like that, right? Let's put it in another way. You've been on the pitch. Sometimes you don't have your main man.
It's always different when your captain's not there, so it's up to the team to have someone to be there to lead the team when the captain's not around.
I believe you're one of those good boys out there in the field. Di na suspend with cards. So
I only had one yellow card actually in my whole UAAP career, and that was for diving.
Oh, how about here in the PFL?
One also, if I remember correctly.
All right, as we are
Good boy
closing
ako,
in.
Claro.
All right. But as we see also, the weather conditions did change. It was much more humid earlier in that game of Digger and Loyola. Do you think this game will be approached in a different manner because of how things changed, of course?
I think there will be less factors that will come into play since there's no rain, and there will be no excuse for either of the team to not perform today.
No excuse, of course, but let's bring out, of course, that weather forecast. We'd like to find out how things are. Although it is in the bare months already, being in a tropical country, no surprise, right, that it can get very humid out here as we are playing at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, in the heart of Manila, actually, come to think of it. As teams now in the tunnel, as we are eventually going to have the Philippines Football League anthem. What's it like standing in the tunnel before the game, Rupert? Nothing you can do, just waiting for the cue. Any nerves or You name it.
Always intense right in the tunnel, especially since the opponent is right beside you before you walk in, right? And you want to focus and be ready for the first moment because anytime, even the first 2-3 seconds, it can cause a goal.
Interesting. May mga stare down ba? Just
No
wondering.
naman. Actually, it's more smiles.
More
A
smiles.
lot of handshakes, a lot of hugs because at the end of the day, outside the game, we're all friends here.
That's right, of course. Sa grandstand pa lang, right, you see that sense of community right here. But if we look at the standings once more on how this game is shaping up, Taguig FC currently sits, of course, in a relatively healthy position when we look at the statistics. And for Mendiola, they sit in last place. It's tough, of course, having no win. But with Taguig, they are number 4 at the moment with 7 points. A win here will allow them to head over provisionally or head over to top spot. But the teams below will have at least one match on hand. But the end of the day, of course, it's all down to what goes on the pitch. As teams will head on now, it's the Philippines Football League 2024-2025 season.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let us welcome the teams of Taguig FC and Mendiola FC 1991.
Here we go, running through our pre-match formalities at the moment as we will acknowledge our match officials for this one. Si Raymar Telos Santos ay ang referee, sila Kim Zorin Abuel at Aldous Mirafuentes II ay ang ating linesman. Si Clifford Daipoyat ay ang fourth official. Si Ravelo Saluria ay ang referee assessor at si Mr. Mark Ian Baldo ay ang ating match commissioner. Dito naman sa team captains, it is Omid Nazari for Taguig FC and it is Eljan Razonable for Mendiola FC 1991. Mohamed Hajimadi right here again. So Razonable and company will look to step up to the plate. Razonable, a former Philippines U19 international from Balay City. One of those vets for Mendiola FC and can play every position at the back. As we do take a look at our starting 11, a 4-4-2 for Taguig, Rupert.
Yes, very interesting lineup, Claro, with the missing personnel right here. But this lineup information would be changing and be moving along the game. So it's gonna be interesting how they play up and take the spots in the positions in the field that will give them the best chance to score.
Let's head over to Mendiola FC. As in Taguig, they pretty much have Dutosme in for Taisuke Sato, serving a suspension of 4-3-3 for the boys here of Coach Dan Padernal.
You know, I would say Razonable, you said that he's a veteran, but he's only 24 years old, Claro. A veteran on the pitch, and it would be important how he shows his experience and his leadership in this game.
Parang Rupert Banya lang, no, when he was at the same age.
24 ako forever, Claro.
Very nice of you to acknowledge, of course, as this one now set to kick off. Mendiola FC in their iconic red and white. Taguig FC, that is their purple uniforms with white, as it was cleared off here by Amarilla. He did not want to give them any chance, of course. First few kicks of the game, how do you see this developing, Rupert?
Everyone's gonna feel the game out for sure. They would want to make more long balls, definitely, just to test the keeper. If they can take their shots on the first few minutes, like, oh,
This one deep in the box, though.
that's what I was mentioning. Mas maaga kang maka-take ng chances mo on this game, mas mabibigay mo yung pressure dun sa other team.
As we see, the flag was also raised, hence offside. No, but nonetheless, that's some aggression, right? Both Taguig trying to get something going early.
Usually, Claro, for big games and, start of the game, I would prefer having the teams do more long balls just to feel the game out.
Is that something?
And more fouls, actually. Like that, you wanna